are you? I thought I would jump on live here because I have some things to show you. So this one's going to be kind of like a little bit of a show and tell that also is embedded a secret teaser to make you buy something. It's okay though. It's okay. It's nothing too scary. So does that sound like fun? Okay, so I've been trying to do these more live chats here over on YouTube, trying to get myself into the habit. And today I woke up and said, I have a great idea. Coming up at the end of the week that I'm talking. So right now it is May the 28th on Tuesday, and on Saturday, whatever amount that is at the end of the week, I should look at my calendar and see. On Saturday, June the 1st, I'm going to have a Diamond Dib sale for my Diamond member group. What does that mean? Well, that's why I wanted to talk to you, and that's where the sale part comes in. I have a little group of people whom I love so much that pay a little teeny bit each month to get the privilege of having dibs on my original artwork. Now, I know that might be kind of like, what? That seems weird. I know, right? And it was something that my daughter-in-law suggested, and at the time I thought, ooh, that seems so, like, arrogant maybe, that I'm not her, me, that I would charge people in order to have my artwork. But she goes, no, it's actually a really great thing. They just pay a few dollars a month, and then they're your super fans or your collectors or people who are interested in your art, and they get the privilege of being able to see things first. Because what often happened was I would post something up on my website or I'd talk about it on Facebook, and then it would be sold, which is a wonderful thing as an artist. You love your work to be sold. But then some of these people that have supported me all through the years were like, I would have liked to have a chance on that. I didn't know it was going to be available. So she said, you're actually doing everybody a favor, and by making it a few bucks a month, it keeps just, the people who are interested, and really kind of that special little group, kind of a little way of showing that, yes, I am interested in being able to have access to Christi's work. So I said, okay, I'll do that. I had my reservations, but, my daughter-in-law, I try to listen to her. At least I do more and more. At the time I was learning how to, but I think I'm much better at that now. And I gave it a try with reservations, and it has been wonderful. I love that we've got this group of cool kids that all get together. Hi, Emily, how are you? It's so good to see you here, one of our cool kids that get together usually about once a month, and we have a little live chat. We discuss what's coming up, and then they all run around and grab stuff, and it's great fun. But only people get to do that are people who have access to the special membership group, which are my Diamond members. So in the description of this, once I'm done live chatting, I'll make sure the description is there, that you can go straight over to my website, which is christifriesen.com. And you'll see memberships, right? Hi, Cheryl. How are ya? Hiya, funny lady. She says, yeah, I am some days funny. And today I might be. You never know. But anyway, if you join that membership, I think it's $5 a month now. And what it does is gives you access to that private Facebook group where the sales occur about once a month. And what I thought I would do this time is, that was the commercial part. All right, I'll probably have a reminder at the end. But that was the commercial part. So, okay, you can take a deep breath. I'm not going to try to sell you anything else. But what I wanted to do is sort of show you some of the stuff that I've just been making for the one that's coming up at the end of the week of the time that we're talking. Because I'm hoping that you guys will look at those and go, oh, those are really cool. I want to have a chance at some of those. But the other thing is, even if you are not in the budget for art or not really sure that you want any new art, it's a really great way to get more inspiration, because I don't always post the pictures up on my website in the gallery section like I'm supposed to. In fact, there's very few gallery pictures in there just because I can't get to everything, and that's one of the things that keeps getting at the bottom of the list. So I have not been able to keep up with that. So there's a good way of kind of seeing what the latest Christi weirdness is, right? To be part of that group. So look at it as just like a little inspiration subscription, if nothing else. But also, I often put little treasures up for sale as well that just the Diamond members get a chance at, because I might find something and there's only 6 of them. It's not worth it putting up on my website, right? But I'll say, hey, Diamond members, I just found these really wonderful amethyst clusters. Who wants one? So it's kind of a really fun group. So I am just letting you know that that group is awesome. You can find it on my website. I'll have a link in the description. So one of the things that I try to sell almost every month when I have my sale are these little one-of-a-kind, glow-in-the-dark ghoulies. And I make a bunch of them for my little group there. And they do all glow-in-the-dark. They're made out of glow-in-the-dark polymer clay. Aren't they fun? And I love making those. I've made them for ages and ages. And I do all of my one-of-a-kinds for that group. And then I will do something that's like a series. And then you can get that on my website. So I'll make a prototype. And I think at the moment there's 2 or 3 of those that have 1 or 2 pieces left. And you can go get those. But if you want the one-of-a-kind ones, you got to be in that group. Otherwise you can't. Emily says, are we going to be able to view the album ahead of time? Yes. We have been morphing how we do things on Facebook for a number of reasons. But lately what I've been doing is uploading the imagery before the sale. It used to be when the sale started, boom, everything would pop up and everybody would run amok, and that was fun. But we've changed things around. So Emily, I'm actually going to start uploading those either this afternoon or tomorrow morning, depending on whether or not I run off and do this other errand that takes more or less time than I imagine. But I've got some good things coming, so you will see, and I'll keep adding them all through the week until our Saturday. So typically what happens when you sign up as a Diamond member is I invite you into the Facebook group, so you have to be somebody who's comfortable with being able to be on Facebook. It's a private group. And then right before the sale, usually it's on a Saturday around 7 o'clock Hawaiian time, so in the, anywhere from 10 in the morning to noon on the U.S. kind of time frame, evening time if you're European, and I forget what if you're elsewhere in the universe. But I will do a little live chat, and then I'll make things go live while I'm chatting or right after or something like that. So yeah, it's really fun, and I love it because it gives me an opportunity, number one, to make more of these little glow-in-the-dark weirdos, which I really have fun doing. Also, it lets me take a chance to sell things that I've been demoing. So like I did a little turtle time video, and you can find that video here in YouTube, not in the lives, but in the regular video section if you want to make your own. But the one that I made to demonstrate that goes, I made a little glass-tastic thing where we did this little deal. So oftentimes I'll have these little things that are from projects that I've done one place or another, and they go there for sale. The other thing I love to do is just, as I've made things, if I'm not quite sure what they're going to be yet, I will put them in my work in progress buckets. And I don't know if you can see here, they're actually a little farther over, but it's sort of like some of these little buckets right here. And they're just chock full of all these bits and pieces. And sometimes what I do, and this is the slideshow part that I wanted to show you now, the inspiration part. Sometimes what I do when I'm getting ready for a sale is I'll go through all of that stuff and say, what can I fix or combine or change or put together in a different way? Sometimes if something didn't sell, I'll kind of hang it around for a bit until I decide what else wants to happen to it. Now, this is a good example of that, is I had this piece right here, and I had it up for sale, and it did not get snapped up at one of the sales. There were a lot to choose from, but you can see this. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to add to it. So I made a little fish that's swimming around down below, and now I'll probably go ahead and put a little bit more of a border all the way around, and it just adds to it. It makes it a little bit more interesting. And look at how cool that fish turned out. Isn't that neat? And luckily I had the same beads and everything. So I just finished this up, and this will be a wall piece. I'll add a little hanger on the back, and this is one of the pieces that will be up for sale. This is another example of doing that. I made this little fun, whatever it is. It's just a little wall piece. So what I do with things like this is I had this cool frame that I got, and I just added a little antiqueness to it. And I had this I've had for years and years. It was in my Do You See What I See book. And I've always liked it, and I've always wanted to do something with it. Well, as I was digging through everything, I realized I had this weird little swirly flower, and then this thing in the back is actually an oyster shell from here in Maui. I live in Maui with my brother, and we go snorkeling quite often. And often you can find where the starfish and the octopuses have been eating, because there's empty sea urchins, shells and spines, and oyster shells. And they are fabulous because they've just been recently cleared of their occupancy. So they're great and shiny. They haven't been roughed up by the ocean. So we gather those sometimes and then just added a little bit of pearls and stuff. But I don't know what this is. It's just a cool thing that you would put on your wall for a mysterious reason. I like it. And I like putting things together like that. Most of the stuff that I make has absolutely no purpose. And I'm quite fine with that, because I like the idea that there's just something pretty on the wall or on the shelf or whatever. So that's what I do. This one was a little heart that I had made, and I wasn't entirely pleased with it. The little heart back here got a little funky in the middle, and I didn't like that. So I just went crazy and I put a million things on it. So it's got little glass marini here and all kinds of other little bits and pieces, some carved jade flowers. I just some polymer leaves. I just went little nuts and just made that heart get bigger and bolder and crazier. And I like it now. I think that'll make a fun little wall piece for somebody. This one, okay, I'm really liking this one, you guys. This one is a polymer clay daffodil that I did as a demo. I sometimes have done Sunday, first of the month Sunday live demos over in my public Facebook group. And now I do them here on YouTube predominantly, but I made like this regular daffodil thing. And then I wanted for another demo to show what does it look like with Swelligant. Swelligant is a metal coating and patina system that I put together and is in revision at the moment, but still available. But anyway, I put the brass coating on there and added the patina, which I thought looked really great. But I was waiting to do something with it. So I started putting this little framework of beads around it, and I thought, man, I just got to keep on going. So I just grabbed a tile, like a Home Depot tile, and I will cover the back and put a hanger on there, and just kept going and going. And I thought, wow, it needs some yellow to kind of hearken to the daffodiliness. And then this is an antique piece of metal jewelry component. I love doing this. These are vintage antique glass pieces. These are antique resin pieces. I'm not exactly even sure what they're made out of, but they're all jewelry components. But I just love it when a piece like this comes together with all kind of stuff that I just have around. That makes me very happy, because it just makes itself. I just start with the thing in the middle that wants to have more life, and I just keep adding and adding. And I use epoxy sculpt. We've gone through that quite a bit on some of these live chats, and if you're looking at that going, oh, I want to do something like that, take a look here on my channel. I have a number of videos, and many of them deal with this mosaic assemblage style, including here in the live chats. There's a Q&A on using epoxy sculpt, which is my epoxy clay of choice, and I go all about how to make, put it together, how to use it, all the questions that you might have. So you can do the same thing. Start getting stuff you have around the house. This piece was, I had fun with this. I actually started this piece when I was in Ireland, because this, all of these shells here from Ireland. This is a pebble from Ireland, limpet shells, some various periwinkles. So I did this little section when I was there, and it never turned into anything else. And then I found a crab shell, mysterious. I don't even know where I found that. And so I just kept on going. I got some of these coral beads up here. These are garfish scales. These are antique trade beads. So they're probably made in Murano, and they're 100+ years old. And they look just like some kind of sea something or another. So I just kind of put this together into an interesting little weirdo mirror. And I just think that'll be great fun for somebody to have on their wall. But I really like how it turned out. And I think I love this aspect of the creative assemblage like this mosaic style assemblage, because you just keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it until you're happy with the end result, right? I love that. And it can be spans of decades, like maybe not quite a decade, but this little piece, I probably made this 8 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, somewhere in there. You know, and it's just waiting until the right moment to be put together, which I think is really fun. And here's one last one I want to show you. There'll be some other things in the sale, but this is the last one I'm going to show you. All right, so this one is a little bit more drama, and this is a piece that I made. I'll kind of zoom it up so you can see. This orchid piece was a piece I made when I was teaching a class about how to do this polymer clay mosaic technique, right? And we were doing orchids. And then I started adding things all around it and kept adding and adding. And I got to a certain point and I just went, all right, that's as far as I got. And then while I was putting everything together, I thought, ooh, I'll get out one of my wooden canvases and paint all over that and add some fun little details, and then just add some other little bits and pieces that I had around to make this whole assemblage. And it's got, you know, a little hanger on the back, so it's ready to go, including this little weird resin thing that I made. So it's just got all kinds of bits and pieces on it, and it's just like a cosmic orchid explosion for some reason. Vicky says, wow, that's gorgeous. Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate you, honey. But I wanted to kind of show you all this for a few reasons. One, slideshows are always fun, right? I get to show off stuff and people can say, oh, that's nice. Emily says that piece you started in Ireland is fabulous. Thank you. I think what really nailed it was adding these little gooby bits here. Like I loved this crab shell, but it was like broken over in this area from traveling back and forth in my suitcase. I mean, I must have found the crab over there too, because I would have done it all at the same time, but maybe not. I could have added the crab later, but whatever reason, it was all gunky. And then this crab is all filled behind there with epoxy clay, so it's not hollow. But you know, they're somewhat fragile shells. So I kind of covered the area that had a little crack on it and just added these little beads. And man, I wish I had more. But I don't even know where I got them. And I know they're not cheap, those beads. But I just freaking love them. But I think this one turned out great. And it's fun because it's got these little pieces of somewhere else. And I really love that. When I'm creating personally, I have gathered a lot of stuff in my travels, and all of us artists do that. Wherever we are in our life, we see things at yard sales and thrift stores, and somebody says, do you need these beads? And you don't even know why, but you just say yes, because you know there's potential, right? And I got a lot of that. And when I get to sit down and just take things that I've already made that haven't gotten a new life yet, and start combining them with the things in my collections, it's really fun. I get to revisit old memories. Like I'm remembering the beach in Ireland where I was, where I picked up these limpet shells and these little yellow periwinkles, and that's a good memory for me, you know. And it'll be a fun, because my happiness and memories are sort of imbued in the pieces I go, and I'm sure that when somebody gets that, they'll have those little lovely vibes as well, because you know the state of mind that you're in when you create kind of gets into your creation, I think. Vicky says, don't forget everyone, click on the thumbs up for the algorithm. Actually, thank you. Right now, if you guys don't mind, please click on that thumbs up. That is so awesome. And those of you in the future that are watching this, don't forget to subscribe, get the notifications so that your inbox, it doesn't go in your inbox. I think it's when you open YouTube, it'll let you know who's happening or what. I don't know how it works. Somebody knows. Anyway, subscribe, please. Hit the notifications if you can. Please do the thumbs up. Share if you want. And anybody who's just like got way too much cash and doesn't know what to do with it, there's donation links and such as well. I'm sure that's all of you listening, right? Not. But you know what? A better way is even to support me, which, if you like me yammering a lot and telling you all the stuff I'm making and kind of sharing some of my creative ideas, one of the nicest ways that I think to support me is go on over to my store, see if there's something there you need, join one of my memberships. As I mentioned, I was going to wrap this thing up by just another little nod towards the Diamond membership. It's $5 a month. It gives you access to the special group where the sales are. And we also get to kind of see what the new things are. And you can scroll back through the old sales and just have an awful lot of inspiration, which is nice sometimes, right? Anyway, that's what I wanted to do. And Vicki, thank you so much for helping me remember. I often forget some of those things. So it's nice to have you guys backing me up and making sure I do all this stuff right. The Everything Everywhere membership is the best value, says Vicki. It so is. It so is. There's a lot of perks to that membership. Thank you, Vicki. Vicki is one of my everything pals, so you can check that one out too, and I hope you'll join us. And obviously, if you're creative, there's various memberships for joining us with creativity. If you just like getting gifts, there's one, that Everything Everywhere. And if you just want to be able to have access to my new art and treasures And there's a lot of price points in there. They're not all super pricey. Some of them are pretty reasonable. So I hope you'll consider joining us. Okay, that's it. That's why I wanted to jump on and just tell you about that, and hope that I will see some new faces in our Diamond membership. Not that we need any. We got great kids in there already. All of us kids are cool. But if you're a cool kid and you want to join us and enjoy my art, I don't mind. And I will hope that the rest of you who are creative will get some inspiration to go look at some of those other videos that talk about using the epoxy sculpt and the polymer and combining those sculptural materials into something fun and exciting. All right. Thanks, you guys, for being on. I really appreciate it. And all of you who will be watching from the future, I hope your future is awesome.